Well, I talked to her since I talked to you guys last.
Okay.
And it did not go very well.
Okay.
But I'll be honest about what had happened because I after I had the conversation with you guys, I'm like, I don't know when, where, how I'm gonna end up talking to her, right? And I haven't talked to her in 5 years. So for the people listening, they probably heard previous stories in the podcast about it. But it's been almost 5 years. I showed Laura the other day. I have text threads from her going back 5 years, and I haven't responded to a single one. And she's never once said, hey, I noticed you're not responding.
Right.
And she's not even that aware.
Yeah.
And she has a history of drug use, alcohol, and behavioral health, mental health. Like she has tons of stuff going on. And so I knew that I was going to reach out to her, and I didn't know how. And I was hanging out with my brother Colin one day with a great conversation. I was supposed to be with Laura. She was like, well, we're doing this other thing. I was like, you know what? I'll hang out here with my brother. And we hung out on the back of his truck. We had a few drinks, and then we were talking, and he said something about my mom. And I was like, should we call her? And she's like a partier, so I'm like, she'll be up, you know what I mean? Whatever. And it wasn't so late, but it was definitely like 11, close to 12.
Okay.
And
Be asleep by now.
we had called, she didn't answer. Yeah, she didn't answer. And then we're all hanging out, and I was like, part of me felt relieved. You know what I mean? There's my dog yelling. Part of me felt a little relieved. And then so we're sitting there, and she called back. And I remember thinking, like, oh my God, like I haven't talked to my mom in 5 years. Like, how crazy is this going to be?
Yeah.
And my brother answers, and he says, hey, Mom. And she's like, hey, sweetie. And he goes, hey, I'm here with Will. And she literally, like, in not 5 years, I have not talked to her. And she literally was just like, oh, cool. Hey, Will. Yeah, Colin, like, so we're trying to figure out the vehicle, and, like, started talking about stuff. And then my brother answers some of her questions and then tells her, like, hey, like, Will's on the line, right? Yeah. Hey, sweetie, how are you? And I was like, I'm good, Mom. Like, do you think it's crazy that I'm talking to you right now? She's like, yeah, it's been a while. And it's just like I was telling Colin, like, yeah, like Ray won't do this. And like, she started going off on another story. And I remember thinking like, that irrelevant feeling of being left at a park.
Right.
You know what I mean? That kind of moment. And I just wasn't going to have it. And I knew like, this might be the last time I talk to my mom ever. And I don't want it to be me let down again. And so I took the phone from him, and he kind of walked away a little bit. And, oh my God, my husky is losing her goddamn mind. Zoe! All right. She'll probably bark again. Yeah. It's okay. Yeah, so I remember I took the phone from my brother, and I wanted to just have like a regular, let me handle this real quick.
Sounds good.
I wonder if it's Laura, because I guess Laura went.
Yeah, she wants to see Jen.
Yeah. All right. We're back. What was I saying? Oh, okay. So let me I'll recap again real quick in case I have to edit that part out. So yeah, I'm with my brother on the back of the truck. Yeah. And I after that whole thing happened, I was like, you know what? Let me take the phone. Let me kind of initiate something here. And so I literally just spoke to her directly, since it was my brother prior to that. And I was like, hey, Mom, like I just want to like tell you that like I want to talk to you, but there's tons of things that you've done that upset me, or like that I'm not comfortable with. And I'm at a place in my life where I want to better understand that, if you want to talk about it. And she was so surface level. It was like talking to a stranger you haven't seen in a long time, where I was like, oh, how are your kids? How are your life? And I said, Mom, like, this isn't why I'm talking to you. Like, let's skip all that stuff. You know what I mean? Well, I'm really tired. I'm like, Mom, like, come on. Like, what do you mean? Like, I haven't talked to you in 5 years. You're acting like this is some random thing. Right. And then I had to pressure her, man. And I feel bad about it a little bit, but I think it was for the better. But I literally told her, I said, hey, you're out of your mind if you think that you're going to get another conversation with me. Are you comfortable, Mom, with going to bed right now and never have talking to me ever again? If I never talk to you again and you had this opportunity, do you feel like you maximized it? Well, no, sweetie, I just like, I'm tired and da. And I said, Mom, if you're tired, I will hang up the phone and we'll be good. But if you want to talk about some of the stuff, I'm going to talk. And she said, well, what do you want to know? And I was like, I tried to have a conversation with her. She cried for a bit. She did the whole, like, I've always loved you guys. And I asked her, I didn't even get mad when she said that. I was like, all right, Mom, if you don't mind me asking, if you loved us so much, like, why did you give us away? Yeah, it's you don't, like, it's because, see, when, why are you asking me this? It was like one of those things. And I said, Mom, like, don't, if I'm troubling you, I'm not trying to keep you awake, but just take a moment and give me your best answer. Yeah. And for the amount of hurt that I was feeling, I was pretty calm. And I was like, Mom, why do you not take the initiative to show up? Why do you not care? Why do you Why? Like, why do you do this? And she had no good answer. She put everything back on us. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was just a time in life, and you guys, like, you weren't patient. And I'm like, patient? Like, I was a fucking kid. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
And she kept going back to the whole I'm tired. And I literally told her that day, after, like, she cried a bit, and then I brought her back down to earth, and I was talking to her normal, and I told her, you know what, Mom? When is a good time to talk to you? Well, during the day. I said, all right, call me during the day. If you call, I will answer. But you need to be able to have this conversation with me. When you call me and I answer, I want to have a hard conversation.
Yeah.
And if you don't have time, or if you're sleeping, or if someone else is doing something, you have some errands to run, I don't want to hear any of that.
Right.
Don't call me.
Right.
Call me when you have some free time.
Yeah.
And I will have this conversation with you, and I'll give you that shot. She doesn't call me this day.
Dang.
Yeah.
Really? So during that time, was she already in that lifestyle of like drugs and alcohol?
Like the time of the call?
The time of whenever she decided to, like, she don't want nothing to do with you guys.
Always. I cannot remember. I have memories as a kid of my mom being so jacked up, of specifically telling myself, like, inner dialogue, like, you got to catch her in the morning. It's the only time you're going to get her sober. Like, I don't have a sober memory of her.
Yeah.
Even when they took me out of the home and she would show up to, like, some visits, I don't think she was sober at all.
So you coming from a family where there's a lot of counselors, do you have given her the opportunity of, like, understanding, like, she's gone through her own trauma and, like, she's just not right mentally? So you think,
well, what is the opportunity? Like, I've given her the same opportunity I would give anyone else, including people I work with that aren't even like my family. She still has an opportunity. I don't have a lot to ask.
Right.
Like, I'm not asking her to, like, get clean. I didn't even ask her to be sober the day I called her. I just said, can you talk? No, I can't. Well, can you call me when you can?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Whatever. She can call me hi. I don't care. Like, my ask isn't so big that I feel like it's unachievable for her.
Yeah.
I have an understanding of it. I feel better having made that call. It sucked, and I know it's not a good story to tell, but I now feel like, look, I give her opportunities, and I probably will give her more.
Yeah.
I'll always be available. And I want, when I have kids one day, to be able to tell them, be kind to people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even if they don't deserve it.
Right.
Like, give them opportunities. My mom will always have opportunities. She just won't live in my head rent free.
Yeah.
Like, I will never give her the opportunity to ruin my day.
Mm-hmm.
And it's in her ball court, man.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing. You should never let nobody, not your mom, not anybody, ruin your day. Because at the end of the day, you have that decision to make.
Yeah.
What are you looking, like, what answer are you looking for from her?
I don't even know. And I remember we talked about it that day. I think I just want to know that she's aware of what she's done. I think I'm so smart and on it and understanding that I could even catch on if she is apologetic, even if she doesn't apologize. If she cares about certain things in a certain way, I think that's enough for me. Like, I'll catch on to that and be like, all right, she didn't quite say she was sorry. She didn't, like, make amends. She didn't give me real reasons, but I could tell she wants to.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so open to that. I'll take anything at this point.
Yeah.
Like, I've never met a more empty person in my life. And that is not meant to degrade her, but it's more meant to shine a light on my awareness of who she is as a person.
Yeah.
And I wish I didn't have to say that. I wish no one has to say that ever about their mothers or any family member.
Yeah.
But I'm very aware of the hollow person that I'm talking to. And I want nothing more in this world to understand why. But I can't do it on her time anymore. And I can't sit around and wait for her to be ready, because she won't be. She won't be ready.
Do you know anything about your grandparents, like her parents?
Yes. So I lived with my grandma for a little bit when I was a kid. And then her husband, I never met him. He has the same name as me. And then my dad's side, I met my dad for the first time when I was 18, and I met a few sisters he had. But I met him, like, that day.
Okay.
Never talked to them ever again. So I don't know. I don't even know who I am as a person, like, before me as a person, if that makes sense.
Right.
I think that's part of the reason why I want answers, is because I just want to know, like, what's inside of me, what's genetically there, what am I predisposed to? Not even, like, medically, just, like, personality wise. Like, who am I? You know what I mean?
I just wonder.